Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today I'm going to add these vinyl decal labels that I got from Breezy Budget Shop onto my envelopes as I answer questions that you guys asked me on my YouTube community post, as well as my Instagram story and Instagram post. If you haven't checked out my Instagram, feel free to do so. I'll leave the information somewhere here on the screen. Also, if you haven't subscribed, feel free to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a video. It really helps out with my channel and I truly appreciate it. I know I've been gone for a while, but this whole not teaching for the first time ever in my entire life, honestly, like through my concept of time off, I was stuck on July 18th for the longest. So I had to get my act together. But anyway, I'll catch up with you guys as I do this and I'll answer your questions too. So let's get started. Okay, so I have my envelope, my first label, and my blood donor card that I'm gonna use as my tool. If you hear my birds, I apologize. There's nothing I can do, to be honest. I got them a new cage, which is 2.5 times larger than their previous cage. So they're actually enjoying it more. They're actually flying, which is perfect for a finch. They need their room to fly because that's their only way to exercise, unlike other birds. The first question is, will you always budget? And I honestly think I will, because it provides peace of mind knowing that I have the money there. Because with me, it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. If I just swipe my card, I'm going to swipe, and I really don't want to get back into debt because I've been there and it was just not a good place for me. I get swipe happy. That's my problem, because I know that if I don't have a budget, I'm just gonna swipe, and then I'm just gonna, at the end of the month, I'm gonna feel so much stress. I'm gonna try to scramble around and figure out how to pay these bills. I'll probably just take the money out of all my envelopes and just pay it all straight to my card. I won't even have money left over for like rollover or anything. And I say that only because that's what happened when I first started. I wrote a budget, didn't stay on it, and at the end I would just take all the money out of my envelopes and just straight to my card. I didn't have anything left for sinking funds or anything. I hope that answered that question. Next question is, what keeps you motivated? I think what keeps me motivated again is knowing that since I am 1 month ahead, that if God forbid something does happen, I have at least 1 month to figure out what to do, 1 month to either work another job or whatever I have to do to get the money for my next month expenses. Question number 3, where do you see yourself in 5 years? In 5 years, I hope to be house hunting, to be honest. Career-wise, still in the classroom, because honestly, I know like the principals or the assistant principals ask, like, don't you want to be in our place one day? And honestly, no, I don't. I don't want to deal with adults. I want to work in the classroom with the children. That's what I want to do. So my birds are wetting me. If you hear that, he's taking a bath and he's fluttering. Oh my gosh. Hold on. That's their new cage. They both took a bath. He took a bath in his little green tub and she took a bath in her drinking bowl. But they have a new cage, 2.5 times bigger than the other one. And it was in budget. Okay, as I was saying, I do want to stay in the classroom and I hope to be house hunting. The next question is, when you think about success, what does it mean to you and how will you know you made it? I think that it's when you achieve or you succeed goals that you set for yourself. It's personal. It doesn't have to be financial. It could be with relationships. It could be fitness. It could be career, relationships, whatever life goals that you set for yourself and you work towards and you achieve them or even exceed them, then I feel like you found success. And it's different for everyone because we all have different goals. We all want to achieve different things. So what could be successful for me may not be successful for someone else, and that's okay because it's all personal. Next one is, what's the thing you dislike most about budgeting? One thing that I dislike is that it's time consuming. And I know it's good, it's worth it because I need it to stay on track and to remain with no debt. I do have to set time every day to do it. To be completely honest, the time that I've been gone from YouTube, it's been what, I don't know, 2 weeks or so. I didn't track my expenses like I normally would. Like I guess I got lazy, and normally I text myself, but instead what I was doing was saving all my receipts with Magna on the refrigerator. And it wasn't until like 2 days ago where I sat down and I looked at all my expenses and then finally tracked everything. I didn't go over budget because I did go and like have an idea of how much I was able to spend in each category before shopping, but it is time consuming and I need to get back on that. I think it's just not working really threw me off. Don't get me wrong, I am enjoying the time off, but I feel like the whole concept of time thing really threw me off. So I think that's the one thing I don't like. It's time consuming, but it's worth it. Okay, Tilly does it ask, budgeting tips for teachers who don't get summer paychecks. Okay, you have to find out if your school district does this. Mine did, and it's actually mandatory. It's not mandatory for paraprofessionals, but for teachers, I believe it is mandatory. They save 10% of your check every month. And at the end of June, along with my last check, actually my last check I get on the last day of school, my summer pay, which is my own money that they save for me, it's like out of sight, out of mind, I receive on June 30th. So that's what I received, and I received basically 10% of my salary. That's what I ended up using for August. I can't open this, hold on. That's my main thing. If your school does not do that, like your district doesn't make you save 10% of your check, then you do that. You open an account and have it withdraw 10% of your check every single month to like a whole different bank. That way you don't have easy access to it. So by the end of the school year, you have money there for you, waiting for you to help cover the expenses for the summer. And the other thing is that any raise or bonus, or if you work the after school program, you have a missed prep that they pay you for, whatever it is, for covering a class, whatever, however you get extra income, save it, don't spend it. Because if you have your budget, you know you weren't planning on getting that, so just save it. Next question is, how did you become a month ahead? Tools and tips. I saved any raises that I received. I saved any bonus income. So if I had a missed prep or I covered a class, they sometimes pay you for it. So I would save that. Any tips that I would give you would be to track your expenses. That way you know where to like minimize your expenses, or if you were able to like increase your income. I also used money that I received when I lost my car. Taylor asked, how long have you been budgeting? I've been budgeting the way I do now, like you see in my videos, since July 2020. But 2019 definitely was not working for me. I had my envelopes and everything, but I created a budget and I wouldn't stick to it. Why? Because I wasn't tracking my expenses. So I would swipe. And like I said before, gather all my money and then straight to the bank. Hey guys, I can't multitask and this was very time consuming, so I'm just going to answer the questions here. How does it feel to be debt-free? It is an amazing feeling, but I also worry because I need to make sure that I stay on budget because I don't want to get back in debt. It honestly feels good that I can finally save money. It's not that you shouldn't save while you're paying off debt. It's just that I didn't do that. I chose not to save money. And it was really stressful back then, and I don't want to go back to that. Next question is, what made you decide to budget this way? I am a credit card user, and during my weekly check-ins, that's when I kind of like pay myself back in a way, but I'm really just paying my credit card. And the reason I do this is because I already have the money budgeted for, so why not make money off of money that I already plan to spend? That's why I do that, because every month I earn cashback points on stuff that I was already going to spend anyway. And it also helps me track my expenses, just in case I forget to write it down. I could always look back on my statement and see that I did spend money at a specific store. So that'll help me too. Tilly does it ask for tips for those trying to be debt free. And I guess I would suggest to track your expenses, set a realistic budget. If you can increase your income, then by all means do so. Another thing, if you're allowed to make frequent payments or like multiple payments in a month, I would definitely do that. That way you don't accumulate more interest. Sam asked if I would consider moving out of my current state. I'm located right now in New Jersey, and no, I would not leave New Jersey because my whole family is here. My daughter's dad is also here, and because my teaching license is just for New Jersey. She also asked my top 5 YouTube channels, not budget related, and I enjoy listening to Charlotte Dobry. She really makes me laugh. Bailey Sarian, she does murder, mystery, and makeup on Mondays. Kelly Stamps, Eat with Kim, and I also like a Spanish one. It's Viaja y Prueba. So this guy travels around Peru and he tries different foods there. Next question is, how long have you been a teacher? Best part and hardest part. I will be starting my 8th year in September. The best part are the students. The worst part are the observations. I don't like the observations because I don't like being center of attention, and I get extreme anxiety when they come in with their laptops and record or type word for word of everything we said in the classroom. Briana asked me if I prefer to speak English or Spanish. English for sure. To be honest, I cringe when I listen to myself speak in Spanish in the videos that I've done. Next question is, do you co-parent? No, I don't. My daughter actually went like a year without seeing her dad, but starting I think this January, she finally sees him like once a month. But no, I'm responsible for everything. Next one is, when and how did you decide to start budgeting? I decided to start budgeting around November of 2018 when I wanted to move out of my parents' house. So I did my research and I created a budget and figured out how much money I would need, and then I just started saving as much as I could, and then I did it. I moved out. That's also when I became aware that I spent way too much money on food and on random purchases on things that I don't even own anymore. Chris Budgets asked me several questions, but this one was my favorite. If you could meet anyone from the budgeting community, why would it be Chris Budgets? That made me laugh, and that's one of the reasons why I would love to meet her. Another reason is because I feel like she would be the person to help me get out of my shell. I am an introvert. I am super shy, and I have an RBF. So I look mean, and I'm shy. That's not the best combination at all. People usually meet me, and they say that they think I'm either like stuck up, conceited, or whatever, but once they actually get to know me, they realize that's not the case. I'm a really nice person, I promise. Budget with PJ also asked me several questions, and her first question was, worst gift you received? I wouldn't say it was the worst. It was just a little confusing because for my college graduation, somebody gave me a high school prom picture frame. So I was a little confused, but I ended up like gifting it to someone else. Next one is best gift you've been given. That I can say is the gift of time. If you do anything to help me or you spend time with me, I appreciate that a lot. Like that means a lot to me. If you could go back in time, what year would you travel to? No specific year. I feel like everything happens for a reason. But if I were to go back, I feel like I would just go back to a time that I did something I regretted. And like I still feel it till this day, and I try to like change it. I don't know. If you could choose to do anything for a day, what would it be? I have a list. I would go hiking, I would play tennis, I'd ride my bike, I'd go to a spa. It'd be like a self-care day. What makes you laugh the most? I think it's just random things that people say, or even the comments that children say because they have no filter. What would you change about yourself if you could? And to be honest, I think it would be to be more social and have more confidence because I worry too much. I'm a worrier and an overthinker. So I think I would like to have more confidence. Like I have to believe in myself more. When did you decide to go into teaching? How did you decide? I guess it's like my junior year of college when I was almost done with my psychology program. That's when I decided that I did not want to do psychology anymore, and I switched to education. Also, I think there's like a career test in high school that I took, and it gave you options, and I did originally start going for nursing because I always knew I wanted to work with children. I know I always wanted to help people, but nursing wasn't it and psychology wasn't it either. But I do enjoy learning about it. How were you able to pay off your student loans and how long did it take? It took me 8 years. I graduated 2012 and I finished paying them off August 2020. And what helped the most was a teacher forgiveness program or grant, whatever it was, that if I worked 5 years in an urban school district or a Title I school, then they would forgive $5,000 for gen ed teachers and $17,500 for special ed teachers. Another thing was my tax returns. I would use my tax returns and put them straight to my student loans. And also I lost my car and I got money for that, and I used that to help pay and get 1 month ahead. Have you started teaching your daughter about budgeting? Yes, in 2019 when we moved is when I started reading budgeting books, and then I learned how to speak to her because I always used to tell her, I don't have money, when she would ask me for a toy or for candy, whatever. But instead, I started saying it's not in the budget and we can save up for it. So then she started changing her vocabulary too and saying, oh, mommy, do you have money in your budget for a toy? And if I did, then I would use it. If not, I tell her we'd find ways to save it or make the money for it. And for her to help me stay on budget with the electricity bill, because this child, she loves leaving the lights on in every single room, I would tell her that if my light bill goes up, I'm going to take the money out of your piggy bank. So if you hear cha-ching, cha-ching, that means that's going to come out of your piggy bank. So I would just tease her like that. So if I noticed that she left a whole bunch of lights on, all I would say is cha-ching, and then you would hear running back to turn off all the lights. And then she'd just come back and tell me, oh, I turned all the lights off. I was like, oh, great job, thank you. Tam Nicole wanted to know that I became 1 month ahead after I became debt free. I apologize if it's rushed, but thank you guys so much for watching and stay safe.